Okay, anyways, we should pray for the refuah shlema of all people who need healing now. Okay. He said like this. כל חתונה מתחילה בכך שהחתן מכסה את עיני הכלה. He says that a wedding begins with the groom covering the eyes of the bride. Okay, it's the badekin. I'm not sure if we do this in Sephardi weddings, but this is definitely. I don't know. I'm not sure, but this is Ashkenazi custom of covering the kala's face. There's a discussion about what's really behind this custom called badekin. Some say it's like a form of a chuppah. It's like a mini chuppah. It covers over them. But so Shlomo was telling what's the symbolic meaning of that is.
And this is before walking around the room.
Yeah, basically it goes before they come to the chuppah. The chatan goes to the kala and covers their face.
Was the origin of this custom from Yaakov Avinu? That he didn't know it was layers and the face was covered, but by decking, the color's face is uncovered, and so the chatan looks at it and knows it's the right one, and then puts the cover on. No?
Maybe. I don't think that. I'm not sure if they had this custom in the time of the Chazal. I think it's a later custom.
But yeah, you know, it says the latest face was covered.
Okay.
And he didn't know it.
Yeah. Okay.
So the following morning, they woke up.
Now, כביכול הכלה אומרת לחתן, as if the bride is saying to the groom, אני לא עומדת להתחתן איתך, כדי שהעולם יוכל לראות חתונה יפה וחתן וכלה נעים. I'm not standing to get married with you, so everyone should see a pretty couple. You know, it's not what this is about. You know, photo op. You know, if you look good, coming down with a hot air balloon and. Well,
my nephew got married. His wife didn't want people wearing kippahs because it would ruin the pictures.
Oh, very good, excellent. Yeah, and you very nice. He says, the message is, I want to get married with you only if our relationship is deeper than anything we see. You can be. So therefore, it's a message saying, okay, so now don't look at me now. Now you can't see me. Now we're getting married. Right? It's I mean, the physical very often it blocks us from seeing deeper, which is really the idea behind closing your eyes during Shemona Esrei, right? Because all the time their eyes are open, so our eyes are taking in what's what we're seeing. That's not Shemona, the Shemona Esrei.
Close your eyes.
Well, it depends if you're praying from a siddur or not. If you're praying by heart, then the right thing to do is to close your eyes. Yeah, but Shema also. Shema is also, that's for sure, close your eyes. You know, some things are only clear when you close your eyes. When you open your eyes, it's you get distracted. And Rachman has a whole story about, the 7 beggars. You know the story?
Mm-hmm.
But and when one of the beggars comes and he's blind and he says, you know what? I'm not really blind. I'm just like the whole world is nothing worth seeing. I'm not really. Okay. Now, Yitzchak haya iver b'sof yamav. Yitzchak was blind at the end of his days. Mashmaut hi, the meaning of that is shu higia lefeta l'madrega. He reached a level in which he sees a lot more than what's just in front of your eyes. Madrega shel sod hagagua b'kisufim. This is the level of yearning, the secret of yearning. When you reach this level, everything looks different. When you're yearning for something, you're full of yearning. And all of a sudden, the mere superficial way of looking at life becomes lacking. I think you can feel this with people. Some people you meet and like immediately they say, oh, you have a new hat. Oh, nice hat, or nice shoes. And you realize that these people are always just taking in the external. And some people you meet and you can tell they're saying, what's going on? What's going on? How you doing? Like that's the type of looking that they're looking. It's a big difference. The question is, if you want more or not. Yitzchak ra'asher Mashiach baderech. Yitzchak saw that Mashiach is on his way. Yireh ha'olam mash yireh. Yitzchak ro'eh mashu acher. Says the world can see what they're seeing, but Yitzchak's seeing what he's seeing. So if that's what's going on, כיצד ייתכן שיצחק לא ראה את עשיו האמיתי? This is you were asking this question. How could it be that he didn't realize who Esav was? He, so to speak, he thought to give the blessing to the wrong person. Right? Hatshuvah, he said the answer is שיצחק ראה את עשיו כפי שהוא עשוי להיות. Because Yitzchak was also looking at Esav not actually the way he is, the way he is meant to be or could be. Right? Meaning he's looking at him way beyond what he really was.
All along, that's why he loved him.
Yeah. I think he feels with me. I look at my kids. My kids are amazing, but I think a part of what makes them amazing is because I realize they're kids. Like they have their whole life in front of them, and all the energies they have. It's like who knows what they can put that into. So I'm always seeing this potential. Looking that way at an adult is more difficult because you see, oh, this person is this. He's a carpenter. That's who he is. It's like very hard to see beyond the specific choice that people make. Gam be'Esav hayu klulot harbe neshamot. In Esav also there were many souls. Rabbi Akiva haya mitzetzaav shel Esav. Rabbi Akiva was a descendant of Esav. Rabbi Meir haya mitzetzav. Rabbi Meir was also a descendant of Esav. And it says, Mibnei banav shel Haman lamdu Torah b'nei Brak. It says that Haman, who was pretty bad descendant of Esav, but his descendants converted and learned Torah in Bnei Brak. So that's what Arizal says that's why Yitzchak loved Esav. He looked at him and he said, "Oh, wow, there's such holy souls in you." Even though that mostly wasn't who he was, but that was there too. So that's why he loved him.
And maybe if Esau got the blessing, maybe we own a little blame for Esau not becoming as holy as he did.
Maybe. There's also something to think about is what does Esav symbolize in comparison to Yaakov? What the Torah describes is that Yaakov was a ish tam yoshev ohalim. He was a tam, a simple man sitting in the tents, and Esav was a hunter in the fields. He knew the fields. What's the word asui? Esav like asui. He's a finished, born with hair, like a fully made person. He was very, very much in this world. Yaakov was like less so. So clearly, there's very good qualities about being in this world that fully and strongly. So it could be if Esav would have taken these qualities and worked them out. It would be very, very good.
Well, I mean, I understand that Esau wasn't like he was not involved in Torah. Isn't the midrash that he was buried? Just his head is buried in the
Yeah.
So that it was like his animal soul was stronger than his divine soul, whereas the reverse was with Yaakov.
Yeah.
I'm defending Esau. I'm not
Okay, so you did train.
Either upper. I know everyone keeps calling it when he's so wicked.
Well, he tried to kill his brother.
But he didn't. He could have.
He tried to. Brought 400 men to kill him.
That's if he really wanted to, he could have. So maybe he didn't.
But you really right here when he came towards him.
Right.
He never started to attack him.
Right.
And they faced each other. Okay.
Yeah.
And Jacob did the doing that he needed to do. Bow down before it.
Okay. Now.
So I'm sorry. It still doesn't seem to explain. So Yitzhak was seeing Esau as who he could be.
Yeah.
So when it came time for the blessing,
Rivka was saying it's very nice. You seeing what it could be, but bottom line, Yaakov is the one who should be getting it. It's just
Yitzhak was saying that.
The Rivka was saying that,
Right, but it still doesn't address the issue of Yitzhak not having the awareness.
So again, the way he's posing it, it's not really, he didn't have awareness. It was really a subtle question about should you how much weight should he put on what he could be or what he's supposed to be.
So are we saying that Yitzhak knew that it was Jacob?
No, אבל הקדושה של ישראל היא לראות בשני אופנים בו זמנית. The holiness of Israel is to see both these things at the same time. Okay, it's not enough just to see the potential, and it's not enough just to see what it is right now. You gotta see both. יהודי צריך לראות היטב מה שמול עיניו. Okay, it's very important to see what's in front of you. Okay, you can't walk around with closed eyes all the time. You have to see what's going on in the world and deal with it. And that's one of the things which the people who built this country were good at. They came into the land and they said, okay, what's going on over here. Let's build. And they were very, very focused on what's going on. They said, okay, Jews are too into religion. Let's do some physical work. So that's one side. At the same time, you also be at the same time to be able to look in a way of yearning. לראות מעבר לגבולות, למגבלות של מה שמול העיניים. Be able to see beyond the limitations of what your eye sees. And I think a simple example of this is sometimes you have people who are very difficult to look at, you know, and this is a big challenge. You know, what happens? You have someone it makes you feel uncomfortable to look at it, but you know that. So what? You know that you have to. You know, there are people with souls and everything. So that's like a classic case where you need to be. You know, looking beyond what you see. You know?
See what they can do.
They can be, or what they are, just beyond just this physical, you know, manifestation. Arya Levine, who lived right here, he would say that he actually doesn't even notice if people are wearing a kippah or not. He sees people like, what's going on, you know? And it's very, you know, very unusual, especially in this country, for people to say that, you know. Everyone's really saying, are you religious or you're not? You know.
And what type of kippah are you wearing?
And what type of kippah? And how big is it? You know, and it's, you know, to be able to like to get above the senses is a trip. It's the Chozem Lublin. I talked about it yesterday. He was called the seer of Lublin. He was a Rebbe who was able to have supernatural sights. You have to see what's going on in other places. And they said that where he got that was because he went for 2 years and he wrapped his head with something and he didn't look at anything. Then he opened it up and he was able to see, you know, all over. I mean, by not looking. Then you can start seeing, you know.
Yeah, it didn't work for Shimon and Baruch when he was a kid.
It did, but then you have to do some sort of. I mean, you can feel this also about when people are looking at each other. Like sometimes some people look at you, make you feel uncomfortable. You know, and sometimes people look at you, makes you feel comfortable. You know, it's like it's just such a variety of ways of looking. You know. Now, לכן רבקה היא זו שמתקנת את נשמת יעקב. Therefore, Rivka was the one who was fixing the soul of Yaakov. Yaakov לא ידע שהברכות מיועדות עבורו. Yaakov didn't know that the blessings are really meant to be for him. אבל רבקה שייכת למעיין, היא קשורה אליו. So here's ties into what you're talking about other places, that Rivka was found at the spring, okay? Right? That sort of symbolized maybe who she was. There's a spring of water. A spring, the mayan is water that flows from underneath the ground. She had this sense of sensing hidden things. She had this sense of seeing things at the same time as we see them, and at the same time as they are meant to be, you know, or as they are in deeper sense. Now,
isn't there eyes and well, it's the same word?
that's exactly it. Yeah, same word, ayin. I feel it's a really big issue about learning Torah. When we learn Torah, especially like deeper Torah, so we start learning concepts about reality, about what the meaning of reality is, meaning of this, meaning of that, meaning of this day, meaning of that this place, meaning this type of person. We start becoming, so to speak, sophisticated and be able to talk about things in a deep way. And I think the subtlety over here is something similar to what he's talking about, is the balance between reality as it is and reality in the ideal sense. You always need to be going back and forth. If you're stuck in one more than the other, then it's a big problem. Meaning, clearly, obviously, to be stuck in the physical is a problem, right? If life is just about physical and you're stuck, you can't talk about anything. But on the other hand, also, if life is only spiritual, it's only ideas about things and what their meanings are, and it's also not a good place to be in, where you're sort of looking at the world. You're not actually seeing the world. You're not actually seeing people. You're not actually seeing occurrences. You're seeing everything through the filter of all your spiritual ideas, and it's a big problem. You start losing track of reality is in other words, going crazy. Okay, that's what crazy people do. They start not talking to reality itself, talking to their imagination of what reality is. So it's really, you try to do both at the same time. So I think our process of learning Torah has to do with that, going back and forth. I'm learning a concept about people. So now I'm looking at that concept. Then I say, okay, let me put that concept aside for a second. Let me just look at the people I know. What do I feel? And you keep the conversation going back and forth. If you lose that, if you lose that conversation, that means that's when things become dogmatic. Yeah, this is the way it is. And it's like you stop asking yourself the question, like, well, things aren't that way. That's a dangerous place to be. That's what someone said that the Gemara is a very subversive book. Why? Because the Gemara often asks the question, very simple question of, it's not that way. Meaning, the Gemara says something about the world, and then the Gemara says, wait a minute, it's not that way. That question of it's not that way is a very, very important question. You keep on have to ask yourselves. Meaning, does this fit? Does this fit to what I'm seeing, or am I just being stuck in all my studies? So the thing is, this going back and forth is what helps us maintain a real connection with Hashem, not just one that's based on all these ideas in the air that we're holding on to. I feel also that that's part of the power of how the Baal Shem Tov's, the things he brought to the world. Baal Shem Tov was a healer, was like a folk healer. That was his job. Even found in the Polish records, the census of the town of Mezhebush, and it says Dr. Baal Shem. They called him the Polish government, referred to him as doctor here. So I have a feeling that the teachings that he taught had to do with his mindset of being a healer, because a healer has to actually heal people. So you can't just tell them about what's going to heal them. That mindset is a very reality-focused mindset. What's going to help this person? And I feel that all the teachings of the Baal Shem Tov, it's all reality-focused. It's like, the question is, how do people actually connect to Hashem? Actually feel it. I think that's part of what made his teachings so potent in their time. Anyways, that's what the Reb Shlomo was saying over here, that Rivka understood this thing that has to be both at the same time. It's not enough just to be, Asaph, you have amazing potential. It's not, you can't go on that. You have to also look at what's actually going on. Where are you actually? It's interesting. I mean, people say this actually with with children. I don't know how much is true, but people say that. Now, when people tell kids that you have amazing potential, it sometimes helps them, but sometimes actually it doesn't help them, because let's say I feel that I'm very unique. I have great powers. So anytime I do something and it needs to be looked at, so I say, oh, I don't want to test out this theory if I'm really special or not, because maybe it won't be true. So they keep on. So this type of thinking can actually cause someone to not do anything, because they want to maintain that feeling of, oh, I'm special.
Yeah, no, this is very deep. It's there's studies that were done. So when you praise someone, the kid does well.
Yeah.
And you praise them, oh, you're so smart.
Yeah.
Or if you praise them, oh, you really worked hard at this.
Yeah.
It's a huge reaction. So if you're told that you're smart, it starts. You become very afraid of proving that you're not smart.
Yeah.
So you don't take risks. You don't try your hardest, because then if you try your hardest and you fail, and it means you're not smart.
Yeah.
If it's coming from a place that you worked hard and that's how you achieved it, then you're in more control of what can happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so here he continues. לפעמים אנחנו צריכים לרוקן את כל הכלים שלנו. Sometimes we need to empty all our vessels. כל מה שחשבנו על סיפור הבכורה עד עכשיו, כל מה ששמענו בעבר, כל זה צריך לרוקן לגמרי. So sometimes we need to empty everything we know till now in order to learn something new. So he says, forget everything you knew till now about the story of Yaakov and Esav. Okay, it says the Marbeh Atzar Olam Yodel Atzik Kol Retzach says, unfortunately, the world people can justify every murder. But stories about holy people, shock them. So the Kol Ritzicha Lo Kach Nerot. But Yaakov, who ganav et habchora me'achiv, so people say, murder's not that bad, but Yaakov, who stole the birth, that's really messed up. So v'chein tishkechu b'akasha ma shelamadtem al inyan ba'avar. So he's saying is, please forget what you learned about this in the past. So he's going to start give a new take on this.
That's very true.
Okay, Sipur. Hu she'Esav machar the bechora liYaakov. The story is that when Esav sold the birthright to Yaakov, ukeshegia hasha'ah sheYitzchak yivarech et bno, the hour came for Yitzchak to bless his son. Rivka imenu yada sheLeEsav ein kelim bechlal lekabel et berchat Yitzchak. So that Rivka knew that Esav doesn't have the vessels to receive the blessing. So that's the point he's saying. It's not about that she's saying, I don't want you to get it, I want Yaakov to get it. She was looking at them in reality and saying the blessings are something very, very powerful. And who has the vessels to take it? Okay, this is a big idea. I mean, in the Kabbalah, it talks about how in the early stages of creation of the world, the world didn't have the vessels to hold the divine light. That's why the vessels broke. The whole thing in the Kabbalah, that reason about the breaking of the vessels, which is a big idea. Meaning to say, we think we're ready to get anything, but we're not. Like the classic example is how people who track winners of lottery tickets show that many times it's taken in a very bad way. Like all of a sudden you have so much money, what are you going to do with it? So you fight with somebody, or you buy something, you invest in a stupid investment, or you just waste the money, or all these very often people don't have the kelim for that. Their whole life they're used to balancing a small family budget, and all of a sudden you get all of that, You know, because one of the Lubavitcher Hasidim, the Lubavitcher Rebbe one time asked him, what would you do for the Jewish people if you had $10 million? And this chassid was so broken that he hasn't thought of that question before. He said, why only the Rebbe think of that? I should have thought of that question. You know? But in any case, this idea of not having kelim is a big thing, and I think also when people look at their own lives, I think often you can realize, you say, oh, I'm glad this came now, because earlier I wouldn't have had the vessels to receive what I'm getting now. You know, I think a lot of people can say things like that about their own life, that certain things came at the right time. You know, had they come earlier, it wouldn't really be valuable to them. And so we don't know exactly what these blessings of Yitzchak really are. I mean, in the simple meaning, they're prosperous, but clearly it's more than that. You know, clearly it's more than just succeeding monetarily, and it's some sort of handing over the flame, something which Yitzchak was giving over to the next generation in these blessings. Something of the sort. The blessing that he gives is v'yitein lecha Elohim, and God should give you Yital Shemayim from the dew of the heavens and the shmanei aretz and the fats of the land. And the Sfarim says v'yitein lecha Elokim, he'll give you his godliness. That's what he's giving you. That's the drasha over here. Not v'yitein lecha Elokim Yital Shemayim. V'yitein lecha Elokim. He's going to give you godliness. And so again, to clear this blessing is something very big. And in another angle, what does it mean not to have kelim for something? Because particularly when getting a spiritual gift, so the obvious danger always is arrogance, right? Let's say all of a sudden I start being in total connection with Hashem 24 hours a day. I'm almost like walking around and connected. That'll be amazing, right? But there's a big danger that all of a sudden I start feeling I am a guru, I'm a holy man, you know, and then I'm losing everything I got. So I think that's also about having kelim. You know, having kelim means, what do you do with the spiritual content that you get? You use it for good, or you use it for bad, you know? You use it to be humble, you use it to be over other people. You know, it's the Gemara talks about Yochanan Kohen Gadol. He was a Kohen Gadol for 80 years. And then at the end of his life, he sort of went off. You know, he just, something went wrong at the end of his life. He was, hello? Yeah, so that's a big thing in general that we should. I think when we pray for things, we want something. I think part of this teaching is not only to pray to get it, but also pray to have the ability to receive it. You know.
Yeah, I find truthfully that there are times when my vessel can hold the feeling good, you know, the blessings I receive.
Yeah.
And I can't hold it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you need to, right. And having the right vessels for things is really good.
Yeah. So in any case, the place to go is the same. That's what Rivka saw. Rivka saw that Esav just doesn't have the capability. And so therefore, clearly Yaakov needs to get it. And if Esav gets it, it's going to be really, really bad. Because when people who are not ready to get something good, it turns into a terrible force. And there's actually a story about one Rebbe, I think it was Reb Chernobyl, who a man came with his son and said, my son's really doing bad things and he's really going off. And he says, okay, tell him to stop learning Torah entirely. He says, why stop learning Torah? It's because for some reason your son is learning Torah in the wrong way. And all the energy that Torah is giving him is all turning bad. So like sometimes that's the answer. Meaning that's really true. It's, with spiritual power is a real thing, and it can be taken for the good or for the bad.
I read it in the last time.
Yeah.
Saying the issue was when Esau sold the birthright to Jacob, it showed that he was just his life was all about living in the day, and whereas Jacob was able to live beyond the day, and that's why Esau wasn't the right person to receive the blessing, because he was just in the moment as opposed to or the day as opposed to having a broader vision.
Okay.
And I'm still confused in terms of whether we're to learn that Yitzhak knew what he was doing, or he was being fooled.
Well, it's saying it's both. He saw from his perspective. We've got even deeper perspective. That's what saying.
Yitzhak saw that Jacob should get the blessing.
No, he saw that in maybe in a certain level Jacob should get it, but as far as Esav's soul or souls which are in Esav, he has big potential.
But was his intention to give the blessing to
Jacob,
or it was still to give?
One thing we see in the Pesukim themselves. One thing we see. What?
We see. Okay. No, just the whole metaphor of seeing.
Seeing, yeah. No, that after Esav comes in, and he says, "What's going on? Someone took." Someone else took it.
My blessing, right?
And so Yitzchak says, "Oh, Gam Baruch Yeh." Someone else came and took your blessing. Gam Baruch Yeh. That he should be blessed. Meaning to say, after Yitzchak gave it, he didn't regret it. Okay, so you see there's some sort of change there. It could be has to do with the Rashi says about him smelling the smell of Gan Eden when Yaakov came in. But Yitzchak in the end, he didn't back off. He didn't say, "Oh, I made a mistake." He said, "You know what? I'll give you another blessing, but I gave him his."
Didn't Yitzchak smell Gan Eden before? Because what he smelled with Yaakov were the clothes, which Asa wore only when serving his father. So my question is, was this the first time they smelled it? Did he smell the clothes? Didn't he smell it before?
All right, what we're actually saying is it seems there was something special. It wasn't just the clothes. It was something spiritual.
It was the person who made the clothes smell like
I also thought Yitzhak couldn't take back the blessing. But this sounds like he didn't.
In the way the Torah phrases it, yeah, so it sounds like, okay, you got it. Yeah.
See, you mentioned potential before. I was learning that Esau, his potential was to be the fourth out.
Mm-hmm.
There were four Imahot, and there should have been four Icos.
Uh-huh.
That is why Leah knew that she was to marry Esau, but she didn't want to marry that rough.
Uh-huh.
And that's why she cried bitterly. But Esau, his potential You see what his actions were.
Yeah.
His actions were a force, were a powerful force.
Mm-hmm.
But he used it for wishes rather than for,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I understand. One thing that it could be behind this story is that often in order to earn things we have to push for them. And Yaakov, since he was Ish Tam, was against his nature to push for something. Right? So Rivka understood that. He says, it could be that's exactly what you have to do. You have to go ahead and push ahead of your brother and take it, because then you're choosing, and you're actually saying, "I want something." If you only take what people give you, with being polite and everything, it's nice. But the question is, are you going anywhere? Do you want? Could be that's what's behind why Yaakov had to do this.
If he hadn't done that, then he wouldn't have had to flee, and he wouldn't have had this 20 years of laboring, and he wouldn't have done that.
And you would have a house and 2 cars and a nice job, a pension.
Watch it.
Wow.
I have a pension.
And pension's a good thing. Show off pensions.
I sold out.
You have your own journeys too, don't you? You have your Yaakov and your journeys. Okay.
Well, it's also, I think it's not the same thing,